The smell of gasoline at 2 a.m. hits different when you're wearing a Princeton sweatshirt that cost more than your monthly rent. Trust me on that one. My name is Claire, and 6 months ago I was supposed to be finishing my senior year at an Ivy League school. Instead, I'm here at Murphy's Gas and Go, watching drunk college kids stumble in for energy drinks and condoms, pretending they don't recognise me from their parents' country club. "Hey, Pump 4's acting up again," Freddie calls from behind the bulletproof glass. He's the only person here who doesn't look at me like I'm a zoo exhibit. On it, I grab the toolbox and head outside, into the November cold. The pump's display is flickering like a dying Christmas light. Perfect metaphor for my life, honestly. That's when I see him shuffling across the parking lot. Manuel. 70-something, wearing a coat that's seen better decades, carrying a plastic bag that's probably older than my car. He comes in every night around this time, buys the same things. Instant coffee, white bread, sometimes a can of soup if he's feeling fancy. Most people would call him a vagrant. My family would cross the street to avoid him. But Manuel's got these eyes that remind me of my grandfather before he died. Sharp, like he's seen the world and isn't impressed by what he found. "Evening, Claire," he says, setting his items on the counter. "Hey, Manuel, cold one tonight." "Could be worse." He counts out exact change, mostly quarters and dimes. "How's school treating you?" I stopped correcting him months ago. It's easier to let him think I'm still enrolled than explain why a Hamilton dropped out of Princeton to work nights at a gas station. Some stories are too complicated for 2 a.m. conversations. "Can't complain." I bag his groceries, then grab a coffee cup from our machine. "Here, on the house, it's brutal out there." He looks at me like I just offered him a kidney. "You don't have to." "I know, but the coffee's been sitting here for hours anyway. Doing me a favour, really." Manuel takes the cup with both hands, warming his fingers around it. "Thank you, Claire. You're good people." Good people. If only he knew what my own family thought of me. After he leaves, I lean against the counter and let my mind wander to last month's disaster. Thanksgiving dinner at my parents' house in Greenwich. The whole family gathered around their massive dining table like some twisted Norman Rockwell painting. "So, Claire," my brother Landon had said, cutting into his turkey with surgical precision, "still playing gas station attendant." My sister-in-law Stacy had giggled behind her wine glass. "Oh, Landon, be nice. I'm sure Claire's learning valuable life skills." "Like what?" Landon continued. "How to disappoint everyone who ever believed in you." My mother Eleanor had given him a look that was supposed to be disapproving but came across more like, "Lower your voice, the neighbours might hear." My father Brian just kept eating, pretending the conversation wasn't happening. "I'm working," I'd said quietly. "There's nothing wrong with honest work." "Honest work?" Landon laughed. "Claire, you had a full ride to Princeton. You were supposed to graduate summa cum laude, not summa cum barely employed. Even gas smells better than your life choices." That's when I'd excused myself to the bathroom and spent 20 minutes staring at my reflection, wondering how I'd become the family ghost story they told, to scare their friends' kids into staying in school. The bell above the door chimes, snapping me back to the present. A group of kids from the local community college stumble in, already drunk at 2:30 a.m. One of them recognises me. "Holy shit, aren't you Eleanor Hamilton's daughter? The one who works here, yeah," I cut him off. "You buying something or just sightseeing?" They grab some chips and beer, whispering among themselves. I catch fragments. Such a waste. Parents must be mortified. Mental breakdown or something. After they leave, Freddie slides a candy bar across the counter. "Ignore them. They're idiots." "Thanks." I unwrap the chocolate, letting it melt on my tongue. You ever feel like you're living someone else's nightmare? Every day, but at least you're living. The rest of the shift passes quietly. Around 5 a.m, I start wondering why Manuel didn't show up tonight. He's never missed a night in the 6 months I've been working here. Maybe he's sick, or maybe he finally found somewhere warmer to spend his evenings. I hope he's okay. In a world full of people who look right through you, Manuel sees me, really sees me. Not the disappointment, not the failure, just Claire who makes decent coffee and doesn't ask too many questions. As I lock up the station, I make a mental note to keep an extra cup of coffee ready tomorrow night, just in case. I have no idea that Manuel will never walk through that door again. 6 months pass like a blur of night shifts and empty coffee cups. Manuel never came back. I kept making that extra cup for weeks, dumping it out each morning when my replacement arrived. Eventually I stopped. "Claire Hamilton?" The postal worker stands at my apartment door holding a thick envelope like it might explode. "That's me." I sign for it, noting the return address, Simmons and Associates Estate Law. Probably some scam or my student loan company trying a new angle. Inside my shoebox apartment, I tear open the envelope. A crisp letterhead falls out, followed by what looks like legal documents and a handwritten note on expensive paper. "Dear Claire, if you're reading this, I'm gone. Don't be sad. I lived longer than I deserved and died knowing at least one person in this world gave a damn about an old fool. You probably thought I was just some broken down guy buying coffee and bread. Truth is, I used to run Fernandez Logistics. Maybe you heard of it, maybe not. Built it from nothing, sold it for more money than God, then watched my kids fight over every penny while I was still breathing. They put me in the nicest nursing home money could buy and visited twice a year, Christmas and my birthday like clockwork. Duty calls, you know? But you saw me, really saw me. Not my bank account, not my mistakes, just Manuel who needed coffee and someone to say good evening to. That's worth more than all the money I ever made. I'm leaving you $12 million, Claire. Use it however you want. Buy a mansion, travel the world, or keep working at that gas station if it makes you happy. Just remember that kindness always comes back around, even when you're not looking for it. Your friend, Manuel. I read it 3 times before the words sink in. $12 million. I grab the legal documents with shaking hands. Holy shit! The papers are real. Signatures, seals, the whole 9 yards. My phone buzzes. Unknown number. "Claire, this is Fiona Simmons from Simmons and Associates. I represent the estate of Manuel Fernandez. Did you receive our package?" Yeah, is this real?" "Very real. Can you come to my office this afternoon? We need to discuss the inheritance and handle some paperwork." $12 million. I say it out loud, testing how it sounds. 12.3 actually, plus some stock holdings and property. Mr. Fernandez was quite specific about his wishes. 2 hours later, I'm sitting in a glass office downtown, still wearing my gas station uniform because I didn't have time to change. Fiona is sharp-dressed and sharper-eyed, the kind of lawyer who probably charges more per hour than I make in a month. "Mr. Fernandez came to me 8 months ago," she explains, sliding documents across her mahogany desk. "He was very clear about wanting to leave everything to you. His children will contest this, of course." His children? 2 sons, 1 daughter, all successful, all estranged. They haven't spoken to their father in 3 years. Fiona's expression doesn't change. They assumed they'd inherit everything despite abandoning him. "Why me? I gave him coffee." "According to his video testimony, you were the only person who treated him with dignity in his final years. He said you never asked for anything, never judged him, never made him feel invisible." She slides a tablet across the desk. Manuel's face fills the screen, sitting in what looks like a hospital room. "Claire probably doesn't know this," his recorded voice says, "but I used to watch her through the gas station window before I'd go in. She'd help elderly customers carry their bags, give directions to lost travellers, slip extra napkins to the homeless guy who came in for the bathroom. She thinks nobody notices, but I noticed." My throat tightens. On screen, Manuel coughs and continues. My kids visit twice a year and spend the whole time checking their phones. Claire asks about my day and actually listens to the answer. That's the difference between obligation and compassion. Fiona pauses the video. There's more, but you get the idea. He was very thorough in documenting his reasoning. What happens now? Now you become very wealthy. The money transfers to an account we'll set up. The stock portfolio transfers. The property deeds get updated. She leans forward. But I have to ask, what are you planning to do with this? I think about Landon's smirk at Thanksgiving, about my mother's disappointed sighs, about my father pretending I don't exist, about being treated like a ghost at my own family gatherings. I don't know yet. That's a lie. I know exactly what I want to do. I just need to figure out how to do it right. Take your time. But Claire? Fiona's voice softens slightly. Manuel chose well. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. Walking out of that office, I feel different. Not just rich, powerful. For the first time in months, I'm not the family failure or the Princeton dropout or the gas station girl. I'm the woman who inherited $12 million because she was kind to a lonely old man. And I'm about to show my family what karma looks like when it's wearing designer shoes. I need to buy stock in Pierce Capital Management, I tell Fiona 3 days later, sliding a folder across her desk. A lot of stock. That's Landon's biggest competitor. She flips through the research I've compiled. You've done your homework. Justin Pierce has been eating into my brother's market share for 2 years. He's aggressive, smart, and he hates everything Landon represents. I lean back in the leather chair. I want to own 30% of his company. That's roughly $4 million. I know, Fiona makes a note. Anonymous purchase. For now, set up a shell company. Something generic. And the rest of the money? I pull out another folder. There's a warehouse district in Queens. Industrial space, good transportation access. I want to buy the whole block. Planning to restart Manuel's logistics company. Something like that. I stand up. Also, I need recommendations for a style consultant, PR coach, and business strategist. Money's no object. Fiona raises an eyebrow. Claire, what exactly are you planning? To stop being invisible. 2 weeks later, I'm standing in a midtown boutique while a woman named Vivian circles me like a shark. Bone structure is excellent, she mutters, pinning fabric against my shoulder. Skin tone works with jewel colours. We'll need to completely rebuild your wardrobe. Whatever it takes. Hair, makeup, posture coaching. You carry yourself like you're apologising for existing. Vivian steps back. We'll fix that. My phone buzzes. Text from my mother. Annual Christmas party, December 15th. Black tie. Try to look presentable this year. I show Vivian the message. She smirks. When's the party? 3 weeks? Perfect. We'll have you ready. The next morning I meet with Marcus, my new business strategist, at a coffee shop in Soho. He's younger than I expected, maybe 35, with the kind of confidence that comes from turning failing companies into gold mines. M&F Logistics, he says, reviewing my proposal. Named after Manuel and Fernandez? He built something incredible once. His kids let it die after they sold it. I want to bring it back, but better. Better how? Fair wages, mental health benefits, treating employees like humans instead of spreadsheet entries. I sip my latte. Everything my family's companies don't do. Marcus grins. I like it. Revenge with a social conscience. It's not revenge, it's justice. Sure it is. He closes the folder. I'll draw up a business plan. You'll need to hire fast. Logistics is all about timing and relationships. That afternoon I drive to Queens to look at the warehouse space. It's perfect, close to 3 major highways, rail access, room to expand. The current owner is eager to sell. Cash offer? He asks, not bothering to hide his excitement. Cash offer. Close in 2 weeks. My phone rings as I'm walking back to my car. Unknown number. Claire, it's Justin Pierce. I think we should meet. My heart stops. How did you get this number? I make it my business to know who's buying large chunks of my company. Anonymous shell companies aren't as anonymous as people think. His voice is smooth, amused, especially when they're connected to Hamilton family money. I'm not using Hamilton money. I know, I did my research. Inheritance from Manuel Fernandez. Interesting story. A pause. Your brother's been asking around about you. Seems concerned about your sudden financial windfall. I bet he is. Meet me for dinner tomorrow, 8 p.m, the Modern. I'll make reservations. Why? Because you're either trying to destroy me or destroy your brother, and I'd like to know which. The next evening I walk into the Modern wearing a black dress that cost more than my old monthly salary. Vivian was right about the posture coaching. I feel like I own the room. Justin is already seated, studying his phone. He looks up when I approach, and I catch a flicker of surprise in his eyes. You clean up well, he says, standing to pull out my chair. Thanks, I think. It's a compliment. Your brother described you as, he pauses diplomatically, a failure, a disappointment, the family embarrassment. He used different words, but yeah, Justin signals the waiter. Champagne? Why not? After we order, he leans forward. So, $12 million from a gas station regular. That's either the best con job I've ever heard or the most beautiful story about human kindness. Which do you think it is? I think Manuel Fernandez was a brilliant businessman who recognized something in you that your family missed. Justin raises his glass. Two invisible people who turn out to be anything but. We toast, and I feel something shift, not just in the room, but in me. For the first time in months, someone is looking at me like I matter. I want to partner with you, I say. I figured. What are you offering? Capital, connections, and a very personal motivation to see Landon fail. Justin laughs. I like your honesty. What's the end game? I want my family to see what they threw away. I want them to realize that the daughter they treated like garbage is worth more than all of them combined. And after that, I meet his eyes. We'll see. The invitation arrives on cream-coloured paper with gold embossing. I had it hand-delivered to each family member's office. Claire Hamilton requests the pleasure of your company for dinner at Le Bernardin, December 10th, 7:30 p.m, private dining room reserved. My mother calls within an hour. Claire, what is this about? And how are you affording Le Bernardin? It's dinner, Mom. Family dinner. Isn't that what you're always saying we need more of? But Le Bernardin it's very expensive. I know. See you at 7:30. I hang up before she can ask more questions. December 10th arrives grey and cold. I spend the afternoon at Vivian's getting my hair and makeup done. The dress is midnight blue silk, simple but devastating. The jewellery is understated, just Manuel's gold watch, which I had resized to fit my wrist. You look like money, Vivian says, stepping back to admire her work. Good, that's the point. I arrive at Le Bernardin 20 minutes late. The hostess escorts me to the private dining room where my family is already seated around a table that probably costs more than most people's cars. Eleanor looks up as I enter, her mouth falling open slightly. Brian adjusts his glasses. Landon stops mid-sentence, staring. Stacey's fork hovers halfway to her mouth. Sorry, I'm late, I say, settling into the empty chair. Traffic was murder. Claire, Eleanor manages, you look different. Thanks, I've been working out. The waiter appears instantly. Miss Hamilton, would you like to start with champagne for the table? Dom Perignon 2010, please. And we'll do the chef's tasting menu for everyone. Landon finds his voice. Claire, what the hell is going on? How are you paying for this? I got a raise. A raise? Stacey laughs. At the gas station? Something like that. I unfold my napkin. How's work, Landon? I heard Pierce Capital Management is giving you some trouble. His face darkens. Where did you hear that? Around. You know how people talk. The champagne arrives. I raise my glass. To family, and to seeing people for who they really are. Brian clears his throat. Claire, your mother and I have been worried about you. This sudden extravagance. Are you in some kind of trouble? What kind of trouble? Drugs, Eleanor whispers. Or other things. People don't just suddenly have money for places like this. I laugh. Actually laugh. You think I'm a drug dealer? We don't know what to think, Brian says. 6 months ago, you were working nights at a gas station. Now you're throwing around money like what? Like a Hamilton. The first course arrives. Crudo with caviar. I take a bite, savouring both the food and the tension. This is really good, I say conversationally. Did you know the chef trained under Thomas Keller? I read that somewhere. Stacey leans forward. Claire, seriously, where is this money coming from? I inherited it. From who? Landon demands. A friend. What friend? You don't have any friends. The words hang in the air like smoke. Even Eleanor looks uncomfortable. Thanks, Landon. Really feeling the family love here. I didn't mean... Yes, you did. I set down my fork. You meant exactly that, just like you meant it when you said gas smells better than my life choices. Just like you meant it when you called me the family failure. Claire, Eleanor starts. No, Mom, let him finish. I want to hear what other charming observations he has about his sister. Landon's jaw tightens. Fine. You want honesty. You had everything handed to you. Full ride to Princeton. Connections. Opportunities most people would kill for. And you threw it all away because what? College was too hard? Life was too stressful? Landon, Brian warns. No, Dad. She needs to hear this. You embarrassed this family. You made us all look like failures because we couldn't keep our own daughter in school. I nod slowly. Interesting perspective. Tell me, when was the last time any of you asked how I was doing? Not my job, not my living situation, not my money. Me. How I was doing. Silence. I'll wait. More silence. The waiter returns with the second course. I gesture for him to continue serving. That's what I thought. I pick up my wine glass. You know what's funny? The person who left me this money, he was a stranger 6 months ago. But he saw me, really saw me. He asked about my day and listened to the answers. He said thank you when I gave him free coffee. He treated me like I mattered. Who was it? Eleanor asks quietly. I reach into my purse and pull out a velvet box. Inside is a framed copy of the inheritance check, made out to me for $12,300,000. I place it in the centre of the table. Eleanor's fork hits her plate with a clatter. His name was Manuel, I say calmly, and this is what kindness returns when no one's watching. The room goes dead silent except for the sound of Stacey's sharp intake of breath. 12 million, Brian whispers, leaning forward to read the check. 12.3, actually. I smile. Turns out being kind to people pays better than investment banking. Landon's face has gone completely white. Surprise, I say, raising my champagne glass. The family failure just became the family success story. My phone rings at 11 p.m. the next night. Landon, we need to talk. It's late, Landon. Please, can we meet for coffee tomorrow? I want to apologise. Something in his voice makes me pause. He sounds different, smaller. Fine, Starbucks on 5th Avenue, noon. I arrive early and pick a table in the back corner. Landon walks in looking like he hasn't slept, his usually perfect hair dishevelled. He orders a black coffee and sits across from me. I was out of line last night, he starts. Which part? Calling me friendless or saying I embarrassed the family? He winces. All of it. I was surprised, shocked, really. $12 million is life-changing. Yeah. He wraps his hands around his coffee cup. Look, I know I've been hard on you, maybe too hard. But you have to understand, when you dropped out of Princeton, it reflected on all of us. I pull out my phone and start recording. Old habit from dealing with difficult customers at the gas station. How so? People talk, Claire. They wondered what was wrong with our family that we couldn't keep our own daughter in school. Dad lost the Morrison account because Morrison's son goes to Princeton and heard about you dropping out. So my mental health crisis was bad for business. I didn't say that. You didn't have to. I lean back. Keep going. This is fascinating. The thing is, Landon continues, not noticing the phone, now that you have this money, we could really help each other. I have connections, experience. You have capital. We could be partners. Partners? Think about it. You invest in my firm. I help you navigate the business world. We both win. I stop the recording and put my phone away. What do you really think of me, Landon? What do you mean? I mean, when you go home to Stacy, what do you say about your sister? When your friends ask about me, what do you tell them? He shifts uncomfortably. Claire, the truth, Landon. For once in your life, just tell me the truth. He stares into his coffee for a long moment. I think you're lucky trash who stumbled into money she doesn't deserve. The words hit like a slap, but I keep my expression neutral. Lucky trash? You gave some old guy coffee and he left you millions. That's not achievement, that's luck. And honestly, Karma's going to take it back. People like you don't get to keep money like that. I nod slowly. People like me. You know what I mean. I really don't. Explain it to me. Failures, Claire. People who quit when things get hard. People who can't handle pressure. The money will be gone in 5 years and you'll be right back where you started. I stand up. Thanks for the honesty. Wait, where are you going? I thought we were going to discuss the partnership. We just did. You know, that afternoon I call Marcus. I need you to start some rumours, I tell him. What kind of rumours? Nothing illegal, just market whispers. Landon's firm is over-leveraged. They're about to lose a major client. Their quarterly projections are inflated. That's playing with fire, Claire. I'm not asking you to lie. I'm asking you to let people draw their own conclusions from carefully selected facts. And if his stock price drops, then Justin's company looks more attractive by comparison. Marcus is quiet for a moment. You recorded that conversation with your brother, didn't you? Maybe. Claire, be careful. Revenge has a way of eating people alive. 2 weeks later, the rumours start circulating. Landon's firm stock drops 8% in 3 days. Nothing catastrophic, but enough to make investors nervous. Justin's company picks up 2 new clients who were considering Landon's firm. I'm in my new office, a corner suite overlooking the Hudson River, when Fiona calls. The warehouse purchase went through. You officially own 6 city blocks in Queens. Excellent. What about the permits for M&F Logistics? Approved. You can start construction next month. And the employee benefits package. Most comprehensive I've ever seen. Full medical, dental, vision, mental health coverage, paid family leave, and profit sharing. Your competitors are going to hate you. Good. That evening, I drive to Queens to look at my new property. 6 warehouses, all empty, all waiting to be transformed. I walk through the largest one, my footsteps echoing in the cavernous space. My phone buzzes. Text from an unknown number. This is Landon. I know what you're doing. Stop. I text back. I don't know what you mean. The rumours, the stock manipulation. I'm not stupid. Neither am I. This isn't over. You're right. It's just getting started. I put my phone away and keep walking through the warehouse. By this time next year, this place will be buzzing with activity. Trucks coming and going, employees earning fair wages, packages moving efficiently across the country. And somewhere in Greenwich, my family will be watching the news, seeing M&F Logistics mentioned alongside the biggest names in shipping and logistics. They'll finally understand that the family failure just became their biggest competition. My phone rings. Justin. dinner tomorrow, I have news about your brother. Good news or bad news? Depends on your perspective. I smile, looking out at the city lights through the warehouse windows. I'll take either. The Hamilton Foundation Gala happens every January. Black tie, 500 guests, my parents' annual chance to show off their charitable giving while networking with Manhattan's elite. This year they have no idea I'm the anonymous sponsor who bought out the event. Everything's ready, Justin says, adjusting his bow tie in the back of our shared limo. The podium, the microphone, the presentation. You sure about this? I've never been more sure of anything. The Plaza Ballroom is packed. I spot my family immediately. Mom in her signature emerald green. Dad working the room like the politician he never became. Landon and Stacy holding court near the bar. They look confident, comfortable, like they own the place. Tonight they'll learn who actually does. Ladies and gentlemen, the MC announces, please welcome this year's keynote speaker, Claire Hamilton. The room goes quiet. I see my mother's champagne glass freeze halfway to her lips. Brian's conversation stops mid-sentence. Landon turns so fast he nearly knocks over a waiter. I walk to the podium in a red dress that cost more than their monthly mortgage payment. The spotlight finds me and I smile. Good evening. Thank you all for being here tonight to support the Hamilton Foundation's work with invisible people. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. That wasn't the advertised theme. I want to tell you about a man named Manuel. He was 75 years old, wore clothes that had seen better decades, and bought instant coffee and white bread every night at a gas station where I worked. Eleanor's face has gone pale. She's gripping Brian's arm. Most people looked right through Manuel. He was invisible, just another old man who didn't matter to anyone. But Manuel had built a billion-dollar logistics company from nothing. He had children, grandchildren, a legacy that should have meant something. I pause, letting my eyes find Landon in the crowd. He's staring at me like I'm a ghost. His family put him in the nicest nursing home money could buy and visited twice a year. Christmas and birthdays. Duty calls, right? They were too busy managing his money to spend time with the man who earned it. Claire, Brian calls out, his voice carrying across the silent ballroom. What are you doing? I'm talking about invisible people, Dad. People who serve others, who work night shifts, who get treated like they don't exist by their own families. I grip the podium. People like gas station attendants who dropped out of Ivy League schools because they couldn't handle the pressure. Gasps from the audience. Someone's phone camera flashes. Manuel saw me when my own family couldn't. He asked about my day and listened to the answers. He said, thank you for free coffee. He treated me like I mattered, even when everyone else treated me like garbage. Eleanor stands up. Claire, stop this, please. Why? Embarrassed? Worried about what people will think? I laugh into the microphone. When Manuel died, he left me $12 million. Not because I manipulated him or conned him, but because I was kind to him when he had nothing to offer in return. The room erupts in whispers. Phones are recording now, social media posts being typed in real time. That's the difference between character and resume lines, between seeing people and using them. Manuel taught me that value exists in how you treat others when no one's watching. I pull out a remote and click it. The screens around the ballroom light up with photos. Me at the gas station, Manuel walking across the parking lot, the inheritance documents, the warehouse construction in Queens. M&F Logistics officially opens next month. We'll provide fair wages, comprehensive benefits, and mental health support for all employees. Because I learned something from being invisible. When you're treated like you don't matter, you remember how that feels, and you make sure no one else has to feel it. Landon pushes through the crowd toward the stage. You're out of your mind. Am I, or am I finally awake? I click the remote again. The screens show Pierce Capital Management's latest quarterly report, highlighting their new contracts and rising stock price. Some of you might recognize Justin Pierce, my business partner. We're revolutionizing logistics while treating people like human beings instead of spreadsheet entries. A woman in the front row, I recognize her as Senator Morrison's wife, starts clapping. Others join in. The applause builds until it's thunderous. Eleanor faints, crumpling into her chair while Brian fans her with his program. Landon storms toward the exit, Stacy hurrying behind him in her ridiculous heels. "Thank you," I say into the microphone as the applause dies down. "And remember, the people you ignore today might be the ones who matter most tomorrow." I step down from the podium and walk straight to where my parents are sitting. Eleanor's eyes flutter open as I approach. "How could you?" she whispers. "How could I what? Succeed? Make something of myself? Prove that your failure of a daughter was worth something after all?" Brian stands up, his face red. "You humiliated us, in front of everyone." I told the truth. If that's humiliating, maybe you should examine why. I turn to leave, then pause. "Oh, and Mom, you're right about one thing. This is very expensive. Good thing I can afford it now." As I walk toward the exit, Senator Morrison's wife intercepts me. "Ms. Hamilton, I'd love to discuss a partnership between your company and our Veterans Employment Initiative." I smile, shaking her offered hand. "I'd be honored." Behind me, I hear Eleanor crying softly and Brian making excuses to concerned guests. The family failure just became the family success story. And this is only the beginning. Fiona's call comes at 6 a.m., 3 days after the gala. "We have a problem. Manuel's children are contesting the will." I sit up in bed, instantly awake. "On what grounds?" "Undue influence. They're claiming you manipulated a vulnerable elderly man into changing his will. There's going to be a media circus." "When?" "It's already started. Check the news." I flip on CNN. There's my face next to a headline, "Gas station heiress accused of elder abuse." The reporter's voice fills my bedroom. The children of deceased logistics mogul Manuel Fernandez are challenging his will, claiming Claire Hamilton used her position as a night shift worker to manipulate their father into leaving her his $12 million fortune. They cut to an interview with a woman who looks like Manuel, but with cold eyes. "My father was lonely and confused in his final months," she says. "This woman took advantage of that. She saw a vulnerable old man and saw dollar signs." My phone explodes with notifications, reporters, lawyers, business contacts. I turn it off and drive to Murphy's Gas and Go. Freddie's behind the counter when I walk in, same as always. Well, "Look who's famous," he says, not looking up from his magazine. Not the good kind of famous. "Fame's fame. Coffee's still terrible, by the way." I pour myself a cup and lean against the counter. "You think I did it? Manipulated him?" Freddie finally looks at me. "Did you?" "No, I was nice to him." "Then why do you look guilty?" "Because maybe I wasn't as nice as I thought. Maybe I was just going through the motions." "Bullshit!" Freddie slams his magazine down. "You gave that old man free coffee every night for months. You helped him carry groceries when his hands shook. You asked about his day when everyone else pretended he didn't exist." "But did I do it because I cared? Or because it made me feel good about myself? Does it matter? He's dead, you're rich, and his kids are pissed they didn't get the money. End of story." A customer walks in, young guy, probably college age. He recognizes me immediately. "Holy shit, you're that inheritance girl, the one who scammed the old dude." "Excuse me?" "It's all over Twitter. You totally played him, pretending to be nice so he'd leave you money." Something snaps inside me. "Get out." "What?" "I said get out, now. You can't kick me out of a gas station. Watch me." I step toward him and something in my face makes him back up. Jesus, psycho much. He leaves, muttering about crazy rich people. Freddie stares at me. "That wasn't you." "What?" That anger, that entitlement, that was them, your family. You're turning into them. His words hit like ice water. I look at my reflection in the security monitor. Expensive clothes, perfect makeup, cold expression. When did I start looking like Eleanor? Did you do all this to be them? Freddie asks quietly. Or because you weren't them? Before I can answer, my phone buzzes. Text from Fiona. But mediation scheduled for tomorrow. 2 p.m. Bring everything. The mediation takes place in a sterile conference room downtown. Manuel's 3 children sit across from me like a tribunal. Maria, the daughter who spoke on TV. Carlos, who looks like a younger version of Manuel but without the warmth. And Roberto, the youngest, who won't meet my eyes. Their lawyer is a shark in an expensive suit. Ms. Hamilton, how long did you know my client's father? About 6 months. And in that time, did he ever mention his family? Sometimes. What did he say? I glance at Fiona, who nods. He said they visited twice a year, Christmas and his birthday. Did he seem bitter about that? He seemed sad. Maria leans forward. My father had dementia. He wasn't capable of making rational decisions about his estate. He seemed perfectly rational to me. You're not a doctor, Carlos snaps. You're a gas station attendant who saw an opportunity. Actually, Fiona interrupts, we have video testimony from Mr. Fernandez explaining his decision, recorded 3 months before his death, with his doctor present to verify his mental competency. She slides a tablet across the table and presses play. Manuel's face fills the screen, sitting in what looks like a lawyer's office. I want to be very clear about this, his recorded voice says. My children are good people, but they see me as an obligation. Claire sees me as a person. When I had everything, my kids gave me their time because they had to. When I had nothing, Claire gave me her kindness because she wanted to. He coughs and continues, I've watched her through that gas station window for months. She helps elderly customers, gives directions to lost people, treats everyone with dignity. My children check their phones when they visit. Claire listens when I talk. That's the difference. The room goes quiet. Roberto is crying silently. There's more, Fiona says. She plays security footage from the gas station, me helping Manuel with groceries, bringing him coffee, walking him to his car on icy nights. This footage spans 6 months, Fiona continues. Every interaction. Miss Hamilton never asked for anything, never mentioned money, never even knew who he really was. The mediator looks at Manuel's children. Do you wish to continue with this challenge? Maria's lawyer whispers something in her ear. She shakes her head. We withdraw our contest, she says quietly. As we file out, Roberto approaches me. I'm sorry, we should have visited more. Yeah, I say. You should have. Walking out of that building, I should feel victorious. Instead, I feel empty. I won. But what did I win? Money I already had? Vindication from people who never mattered? I think about Freddie's question. Did I do this to be them, or because I wasn't them? Looking at my reflection in the building's glass doors, I'm not sure I know the answer anymore. The M&F Logistics holiday party is in full swing when I slip out onto the rooftop terrace. Below me, Manhattan sparkles like scattered diamonds. Inside, my employees are celebrating our first profitable quarter, fair wages, full benefits, and we still beat every competitor's numbers. I should be happy. Instead, I feel hollow. Hiding from your own party, Justin joins me at the railing, holding 2 glasses of champagne. Just needed air. The Times wants to do a feature on you. From gas station to CEO, the Claire Hamilton story. Pass? Claire, what's wrong? You won. Your company's thriving, your family's been publicly humiliated. Landon's firm is hemorrhaging clients. This is everything you wanted. Is it? My phone buzzes. Text from my mother. Your father's in the hospital, heart attack. Thought you should know. I stare at the message. No, please come. No, we need you. Just clinical information like she's updating a business contact. I have to go, I tell Justin. Greenwich Hospital smells like disinfectant and desperation. I find my family in the cardiac wing waiting room. Eleanor clutching a tissue, Landon pacing, Stacey scrolling through her phone. How is he? I ask. Eleanor looks up, surprised. Claire? I didn't think you'd come. He's my father. Stable, Landon says without looking at me. They're running more tests. We sit in silence for an hour. Finally, a doctor emerges. Mr. Hamilton is awake. Family can see him now, 2 at a time. Eleanor and Landon go first. When they return, Eleanor's eyes are red. He wants to see you, she tells me. Brian looks smaller in the hospital bed, connected to machines that beep and hum. His face is grey, but his eyes are alert. Claire. Hi, Dad. I saw the news about the mediation. You won. Yeah. Good. Those people had no right to challenge Manuel's wishes. He shifts slightly. I knew him, you know, years ago before he sold his company. Good man, smart businessman. You never told me? You never asked. He closes his eyes. I've been thinking about what you said at the gala, about invisible people. Dad? No, let me finish. I was wrong. About you, about what success looks like. I thought keeping you in school was protecting the family reputation. I never asked if you were okay. I wasn't okay. I know that now. He opens his eyes. Your mother told me about the panic attacks, the sleepless nights. We should have helped you instead of being embarrassed by you. Why didn't you? Because I was raised to believe that weakness was failure, that asking for help was giving up. I passed that poison to you and your brother. A tear rolls down his cheek. I'm proud of you, Claire. Not because you're rich now, but because you're kind. That matters more than any degree. I take his hand. I'm sorry about the gala. I wanted to hurt you. You did hurt us, but maybe we needed to be hurt. The next morning I drive to Woodlawn Cemetery in the Bronx. Manuel's grave is simple, just his name and dates. I set down a cup of coffee from Murphy's Gas and go. Hey, Manuel. Sorry it's been a while. The wind rustles through the bare trees. I sit on the cold ground next to his headstone. Your kids dropped the lawsuit. They're not bad people, just lost. Like I was, like my family is. I adjust the coffee cup. I think you knew this would happen, the money, the fighting, all of it. You were teaching me something, weren't you? A car pulls up behind me. I turn to see a young woman getting out, carrying flowers. Excuse me, she calls. Are you Claire? I stand up, brushing dirt off my jeans. Yes. I'm Sophia, Manuel's granddaughter. She's maybe 25 with his same kind eyes. I wanted to thank you. For what? For treating him like he mattered. My family, we got caught up in our own lives. We forgot he was a person, not just a grandfather. She places the flowers next to my coffee cup. He wrote me letters about you. Said you reminded him of my grandmother, always putting others first. She hands me an envelope. He wanted me to give you this if we ever met. Inside is a handwritten note. Claire, if Sophia is reading this to you, it means you're visiting my grave. Stop that. I'm not there anymore. I'm in every cup of coffee you buy for someone who needs it, every kindness you show to people others ignore. The money was never the point. The point was remembering who you are when no one's watching. Don't let revenge change that. Your friend, Manuel. Sophia smiles. He also said to tell you that your Princeton scholarship program is helping kids like me. I start there in the fall, studying business. I want to run a company like yours someday. You will. After she leaves, I sit with Manuel a little longer. Then I drive back to Manhattan, but instead of going to my office, I go to Murphy's Gas and Go. Freddie looks up when I walk in. Slumming it with us peasants again. I'm thinking about buying this place. Why? So I can give you a raise and health insurance. And maybe hire some help so you don't have to work doubles. What's the catch? No catch. Just taking care of people who take care of others. My phone buzzes. Text from an unknown number. Ems. Hamilton, this is David Chen from the Princeton Mental Health Initiative. One of your scholarship recipients just got accepted to medical school. She wanted to thank you personally. I delete the message without reading the name. It doesn't matter who she is. What matters is that she made it. You know what, Freddie? Make that 2 coffees I'm buying. For who? Anyone who needs one. He pours 2 cups, and I carry them outside. A homeless man is sitting by the dumpster, shivering in the December cold. Coffee, I offer. He looks up, suspicious. What's it cost? Nothing. Just thought you might be cold. He takes the cup with shaking hands. Thank you. Thank you, I say back. Because Manuel was right. The money was never the point. The point was remembering who you are when no one's watching. And tonight, someone's watching who I choose to be.